Hi everybody, it's Tripl-L, and now let's talk Attack on Titan. Specifically, let's talk about the differences between the anime and the manga. The first episode has been released. It covers 6 chapters of the manga, although 5 of them are the ones that really count. They are chapters 51, 52, 53, 54, 57, and then chapter 90. Very quick note on the material that was covered at chapter 90. That is the material with Eren at the ocean. Most likely this is where we're going to end the season off. It's going to be how did Eren get to the ocean. So that's a pretty cool little detail to know there. But before that, as you saw with the numbers, we have 51, 52, 53, 54, and 57. 55 and 56 are absent, and that has a large part to do with how they're changing the material from the manga and adapting it for the anime. Now, the biggest changes really revolve around what happened to the missing material, but before we get into that, there's a few other things that aren't present in this episode. Some of them we will probably get later, but some of them might be gone forever. One of those instances include the experimentation that Eren was undergoing. In the episode, we saw the group cutting Eren out of a weakened Titan. The question is though, why was he weakened to that point? Well, it turns out he actually had a lot more experimentation being done to him, along with some very concerning messages coming through while he was being experimented upon. I'm going to keep that secret because that might be brought up later on in the series, because that seems like a rather important bit of information. Other things that we missed out on in terms of the adaptation, we didn't get to see flashbacks with Historia. In the manga, they originally gave us flashbacks of Historia's childhood. Here we didn't have it. In the manga, the kids were told of what happened to Historia, and that's where we were told about the flashback. Mind you, because they are so important, chances are they're going to be revealed later on in the season. So I'm not going to spoil that too much for you viewers either. Aside from that, there was also a lot of reorganization of events. A lot of conversations are happening sooner or later depending on the conversation itself. One interesting spot was the moment in time where Eren gives a note to Hange about what he remembered from the conversation from Ymir and Reiner when they were making their escape. The sequence of events there was kind of different, but those kind of things don't ultimately matter in the long run. It's just a matter of changing when it happens. The point is, it still happens. Another thing that we missed was a conversation between Eren and the military police, and talking about just what Eren chose in his life. Very interesting that we didn't have that covered for this episode. Now, the most interesting changes are really regarding what exactly happened to the missing chapters. And so what the anime did was that it turned 2 separate operations into one and removed some of the intrigue that had originally happened in the manga. So in the anime, we see that Levi is running a sting operation to try and get the pursuers off of their backs pretty much. They use John and they use Armin as decoys. In the manga, originally what had happened was that Levi and the rest, they initially got kidnapped when Levi and the rest were dealing with the population of the city. And that was really important because it established one of the plot lines that was going to be called upon in the missing chapters. But in the anime, it was just they were walking through the street and no one was contending with them. Anyway, when we actually have the 2 captured, Levi is part of the operation and is there to try and get them out of the bad situation. After the operation is completed, Levi goes on to talk with the head guy, who turns out to be the president of a company. He's talking to the head guy, and they ultimately conspire together. They make an alliance to work together. In the anime, that doesn't happen. In fact, in the anime, when we have the people coming in to investigate or to look at Armin and John, thinking that they are Historia and Eren, there's 4 people coming in, whereas in the original manga there were only 3. The inclusion of the 4th person, this person right here, is really important and gives us an idea of how exactly the anime is going to be moving around the content that it just can't do anymore. Anyway, in the anime, Levi was up on a roof while also trying to keep eyes on the whole movement of Historia and Eren through the city. In the manga, when this was happening, when this part of the operation was happening, that is everyone in the warehouse, Eren and Historia were still safe inside of a safe house. They were at a distance. They were not anywhere near the city. In fact, this whole bit with Levi on the roof and Kenny coming in to assault them, this actually happens after an operation fails and Eren and Historia get captured by the military police. This operation was initially supposed to be a retrieval operation. When Eren and Historia were in this carriage in the anime, in the manga they were initially restrained and in coffins. So what ultimately happened here with the anime is that they decided to nix out the whole little extra conspiracy that happened between the Survey Corps and this person right here, and instead smash those two things together, slightly changed the whereabouts of Eren and Historia to make it flow better, and then they just brought in Kenny to continue on with the material that came in chapter 57. Pretty interesting stuff. And the missing material from chapter 55 and 56, I do think some of it will be adapted later, because one of the chapters includes some really good material for Hange, and she's already been set up to have this, so most likely we're going to be seeing this later. But overall, this was a broad strokes video, but it was really interesting to see what exactly they chose to adapt. And one of the things that we can definitely say for sure that they have abandoned is just President Reeves and his place in the community. They have chosen to abandon that, and they seem to be going for some kind of weird hybrid of what ultimately happens to this group of characters. Anyway guys, hope you liked that very quick and formal video. Hope it gives you some insights into what we're missing, and just to know that this season of Attack on Titan is most likely trying to get to chapter 90, and to do that they're going to have to chew through a lot of material and do some pretty artful adaptation here. Anyways, hope you enjoyed the video, and guys, if there's anything else that you want to put in that was missed, let me know down below. But till next time, I hope you have a great day.